Okay, let's talk about a verb tense. This verb tense is called the past perfect. Past perfect. You can use this verb tense, right? Use this when one event, right, one thing happens before another event, another action, another thing in the past. Right? So when two things happen in the past, you can use this, right, past perfect, and this happens first. It's the event, it's the thing that happens first. I'll give you an example. You could say, I had lived in Saudi Arabia. I had lived in Saudi Arabia before I came to the USA. So in this sentence, there are actually two events, right? Two actions, two things. Here is one, right? Had lived. Here's another, right? Came. They're both in the past, right? Two things in the past. But this one is first, right? Had lived is first. This happens before the other one. Because it happens first, you can use the past perfect, right? And that's what this is, the past perfect. To make the past perfect, you always need had, right? Always need had, and always a past participle, right? So had gone, had spoken, had done, had bought, had written. Right? If you draw a timeline for this sentence, it might look like this. Right? Here is time, right? Time. This is now, right now. This is the past, and we have two events in the past. So here's one, right? This is came, right? Came to the USA, right? Simple past. But before that, something happened, right? Before that, in the past, super past, something happened, and it's this, right? Had lived, right? Had lived in, right, Saudi Arabia, right? So this one is more recent, and this one is before. There's also another verb tense, which is almost the same. It's kind of the same idea. And it's called the past perfect continuous, right? There's another verb tense, right, called the past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous. It's almost the same idea, but it really shows that the first event continues. If you want to show that the first thing really lasts and continues and goes on for a while, you can use the past perfect continuous. So let me show you what it looks like. Let's put it right here. It's very similar to the past perfect. We can say, I had been living. I had been living in Saudi Arabia before I came to the USA. If you say this, right, had been living, really you just show that the first event, right, continues. Right? It goes and goes and goes. And that's really all. So we can change this, and let's write had been living, right, in Saudi Arabia. So I had lived in Saudi Arabia before I came to the USA, or I had been living in Saudi Arabia before I came to the USA. They're almost the same, but this one really shows that it continued for a while. And the parts that you need are, right, had and been, and then the present participle, right, the ing verb, ing. And I want to say that we have the past perfect and the past perfect continuous, but people don't always use them. Sometimes you have two or three things that you could say, and all of them would be okay. Like I said, you could say had lived, and I had lived in Saudi Arabia, that's okay. Some people might choose to say had been living, and that's okay. Some people just use the simple past for everything. So it's okay if you say I lived in Saudi Arabia before I came to the USA. Actually, all of them are fine. So you can choose your favorite. That's all.